About 100 kilometers from the town of Americaton, tucked away in dense forest, lies the small village of Kingsville. A secluded lake runs along its edge. The villagers call it America Lake. Kingsville is small but ancient. Its people pass down tales of the land and of older times. As evening falls, the village elders gather under the same old sacred fig tree. In the dim light, they trade stories that bring more shivers than smiles. They say when darkness deepens, the tree whispers in a silent voice, and anyone who stands beneath it may never return. "Hey, Haria," one elder asked softly, "do you think Uncle Ramlock will come tonight? Last time we sat up all night, but he didn't show." "Yes," Haria answered, "but remember, whenever he comes, he never leaves without revealing some secret. I've never known such a man. If he never comes again, this tree, these stories, everything will become only a distant memory." As they spoke, the tree's branches began to shake violently. There was no wind, but the eerie sound of leaves rubbing together filled the air. The three elders fell silent. In that hush, a long shadow emerged from a distance, slowly moving toward them. Footsteps sounded like a wooden stick tapping the ground. "It's Uncle Ramlock coming," one of them breathed. Uncle Ramlock was the village's most mysterious elder. Nobody knew his true age. Some said he was 100 years old. Others said he was not fully human. A few believed he was a centuries-old spirit bound to the tree. He came slowly, his old wooden staff clattering on the earth. In the darkness, his eyes seemed to glow red, like embers. "Hey, friends, waiting for me again?" he asked. "Yes, Baba," they replied. "Does the tree ever stay quiet when you're not near? We know you carry secrets none of us have heard." Ramlock smiled and looked up at the branches. Suddenly, the limbs moved as if gripped and shaken by invisible hands. Still, there was no breeze. "Do you know," he said in a low voice, "this tree is still awake. It still speaks, and whatever it tells is always true." At that moment, a faint voice rose from beneath the roots, like a woman weeping underground. The sound was so soft, it made the elders' spines tingle. "Ramlock," one stammered, "what is that voice? Is someone really buried under this tree?" "Yes," Ramlock replied. "A soul is bound here. Its story is not finished. It longs for someone to listen and lose themselves in its sweet words. And remember, this tree never lies." Ramlock Baba, Uncle Ramlock, settled beneath the tree. Just as he was about to begin his tale, footsteps sounded from a distance. The elders startled. A stranger appeared from the dark. His clothes dust-streaked, his face weary, an old bag slung over his shoulder. He came close to the fig tree and said, "Greetings, elders. I am a traveler. I've lost my way, and the night is dark. May I spend the night in your village?" One of the elders answered, "We have no room in our houses. This village is small and crowded, but you may rest under the tree. Many people sit here at night." The traveler looked at the tree with some surprise. There was a strange feeling in its shade. The night beneath the branches felt different, though there was no roof over it. The elders warned him, "Think carefully, traveler. This fig tree is not ordinary. Whoever sleeps beneath it is not the same come morning." "I've slept in the mountains," the traveler said. "I've even spent nights near graveyards. What harm can a tree do?" "We've seen people change with our own eyes," the elders replied. "We do not know when this tree will wake. You won't find space in our homes. The decision is yours." The traveler continued through the village, knocking on doors. Night had fallen. The streets were empty and thick with fear. He knocked again and again, but no one opened. People whispered behind curtains but dared not step outside. Exhausted, the traveler stood in the street and muttered, "What kind of people are these? No one will help." He thought perhaps there would be an inn or a small camp ahead, but the village sat, cloaked in darkness, and fearful eyes watched from behind every window. Inside one house, an old woman whispered to her daughter, "See, this is exactly what Uncle Ramlock warned. The stranger has come. Now the tree will awaken." "Mother," the daughter asked in a trembling voice, "is the tree really that dangerous?" "Yes, child," the mother said, voice shaking. "If he sits there and is carried away by those worldly words, this night will be his last." The traveler heard the whisper, but pressed on. He reached the very edge of the village and finally stood beneath the enormous fig tree. The tree was ancient and tall. Its roots reached out over the earth like coiled snakes. The moonlight fell on those roots like the sheen of old bones. "Just one night," the traveler told himself. "I'll leave at dawn." These are villagers' tales. There's little truth to them. But then a gust came out of nowhere, and the branches swayed wildly. A flock of birds burst from the canopy as if their nests had been disturbed. From between the roots, a soft, intoxicating voice rose. A woman's voice, calling from below. "Traveler," it whispered, "you've come. You are alone, and I want to come close to you. I am so tempted." The traveler froze. His eyes widened. Listening closely, the voice grew clearer. His heart trembled with equal parts fear and curiosity. There was no woman in sight. He looked around, but only silence and darkness answered. The voice called again, "I am watching you. I feel your fatigue and loneliness. Why not accept my support?" The traveler's body went cold with sweat. He understood he faced something unnatural, but an odd attraction stirred in him, as though the voice reached straight into his heart. "Who are you?" he demanded. "Where are you? Come out." This time, the voice seemed to come from the earth itself, nearer and more persuasive. "If you want to see me, bend down and look between the roots. What I say is the truth. Now, recite this mantra, and I will appear." The traveler bent. A narrow crack yawned between the roots. A cool breath and a faint rustle rose from it. He felt something soft, like a hand, brush his face. Startled, he stepped back and murmured, "It's only my imagination." "I need not be afraid." But the woman's voice grew even sweeter. "You are afraid, but you know you want me. If you recite the Dum Darood, perhaps I will appear. Listen to me, and we will be together forever." Hands trembling, the traveler folded them and began to chant. His words dissolved into the night air. For a moment, the voice seemed gone. And then a black mist slipped from the crack between the roots. The mist thickened and took shape. Slowly, a woman formed in the moonlight. Beautiful, hypnotic, her hair falling to her waist, her eyes gleaming, a strange smile on her lips. "I am set free," she said softly. "You have awakened me after centuries." "No, this cannot be." "This is all a lie," the traveler protested inwardly. But the voice answered as if pleased. "No, traveler, this is true. Now the night's play has begun." Shadows lengthened around him. The woman's form grew more distinct. The tree's roots began to tremble. Cracks spread across the ground. Faint whispers filled the air. "Traveler, do not spend the night here. This is your last night." The traveler tried to run, but his feet seemed to sink into the earth. He made a last, desperate attempt to chant aloud, to break the spell. For a moment, the woman's face flashed with rage. Then her laughter pealed through the night. "Traveler, now you cannot run or escape." His screams rang through the sleeping village. the tree's roots coiled about him like living serpents. The woman, now fully freed from the root-bound darkness, moved with terrible grace. By dawn, the villagers came to the tree. Only the traveler's bag and shoes lay on the ground. The traveler himself had vanished. "I told you," someone whispered. "Anyone who falls under the spell of the woman beneath this tree never returns." The villagers stared at one another, too frightened to approach. This was the same story Kingsville had told for generations. If a stranger spends the night beneath the sacred fig tree and is drawn by the woman's voice, he will never greet the morning. If there is such an old tree, ruin, or place in your own village, remember, do not spend the night there. Who can say whether the voice calling your name is human or something else?